let's use Atena as an example, because everybody knows her. Who here agrees that she's a confident person? I can guarantee you she didn't always have that. She would have created that at some point in her life. And all of you can do the exact same thing for whatever it is that you need to get to the next level in your life. And we can do it by reprogramming the mind.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, no matter where you are in this world. So this is a 12-month program founded by Atena Pegler, designed to help aspiring entrepreneurs launch and scale their businesses using the power of AI. Each week, as you guys may have known, we're joined by a remarkable guest speaker, industry leaders, and 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs. So you can learn directly from the best of the best in the game from all around the world. My name is Janine Jakob. I'm your host again today, and I'm very thrilled to welcome our special guest. Let me tell you a tiny bit more about Ebrahim before we are starting with him. So, Ebrahim is a CEO hypnotist. Yes, you've heard right. He is a CEO hypnotist who has cracked the code on what separates entrepreneurs who achieve lasting success from those who burn out despite having all the right strategies. After building his own 7-figure marketing agency, Ebrahim discovered a harsh truth. External success without internal alignment leads to anxiety, depression, and eventual self-sabotage. This revelation led him on a journey to master the one thing that truly determines entrepreneurial success: the subconscious mind. Today, Ebrahim works with 7, 8, 9, and 10-figure entrepreneurs. Wow. Helping them remove the mental blocks that keep them stuck. His clients include Shelby Sepp, William Brown, Jake Train, and Ty Lopez's team, and dozens of other high performers who've experienced quantum leaps in both their businesses and personal lives. What makes Ebrahim's approach revolutionary is his ability to create instant, lasting change through hypnosis, often in a single session. His clients don't just learn new strategies, they become the version of themselves that naturally attracts and sustains massive success. Oh my gosh, Ebrahim, thank you so much for making time for us. And the stage is yours. Everybody's super thrilled. I can see in the chat.
All right. Thank you very much for the kind intro, Janine. And it's really, really good to be here with all of you guys today. I want to make this session as practical and valuable for every single one of you today. So this is not just going to be another Zoom call. You listen to someone speak for a bit. I want this to literally be a transformation today. I want you to leave this Zoom call with exactly what you need to get to the next level. And whether it's your business success, whether it's personal life, whether it's confidence, whether it's overcoming some kind of thing stopping you, whatever it is, I want every single person here to actually leave different today. Okay. So, in order to do that, what I need from you guys is just as much participation as possible. If any of you can put your cameras on, if you've got it, I'd really appreciate it. There's so much science to show that the more that you engage in whatever you're focused on, you will just get so much more out of it. If some of you are driving, all good, I understand. But if you can, you will just get more out of it if you do. So that's my invitation to you guys. We're going to make, as I said, we're going to make today really practical. So we're actually going to experience some of this change today, some of the magic live. So if anybody hasn't tried this before, which probably a lot of you haven't yet, it's going to be a cool new experience for you guys, which I'm excited to share with you. I'll give you guys just a little bit more info on my backstory before we get in, just so you know, like, how the heck did I even get here, right? It's kind of a different maybe thing than what you're used to. I actually met Atina recently at Ty Lopez's Mastermind. Immediately vibed with her energy. I'm sure a bunch of you guys do it as well. We just hit it off, and before I knew it, we were speaking for hours at the party, and she was quite fascinated by one thing I'm really good at doing, which is getting change really, really fast in entrepreneurs. So before being a hypnotist, as Janine mentioned, I was an entrepreneur. I built my own companies before that. And really where it all started was 11 years ago when I was 19 years old. My brother-in-law, he bought me a ticket to a seminar with Tony Robbins. Who here knows Tony Robbins, right? The self-development guy. I had no idea who he was. I was just a 19-year-old kid. I was just trying to figure out what to do in life. Anyway, so I turn up to this seminar. It was in London at the time, and there's 15,000 people in this room, jumping up and down, waving their hands, people shouting, screaming, flashing lights. And I walk into this room quite timidly, and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, is this an evangelical church? Is this a cult? What have I just got myself into? And I felt very uncomfortable, to be frank with you. I was very, very uncomfortable in this situation. I'd never experienced anything like that before. And I wanted to turn around and leave. I wanted to just leave. But something inside of me said, maybe you should just be open to this. And just as I had that intuition, he came up on the stage and he said, look, if you're here today, either play full out and just be open-minded and go with it, or just leave. Don't be one of those people who are 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And so I thought, you know what, screw it. I'm here. I've shown up. I may as well just give it my full attention. Next thing I know, I'm one of those people jumping up and down. I'm walking over fire. I'm doing all this crazy stuff. And I walked in a shy, insecure boy. I walked out a freaking confident, successful man. My life changed very quickly. I built my business very, very successfully and quickly off the back of that. And over 10 years of just really applying this to myself and mastering it, helping a few people along the way, I realized that when I started then coaching business owners on business, I realized that the thing that they actually really needed and the questions they actually had was all around this. It was around mindset. And so I realized, okay, well, why don't I just actually help people with what they actually need help with, which is the mental. Because once you can figure this out, you can go and do anything. Somebody asked me recently on the podcast, what's the best thing that I've personally benefited from in, hypnosis and all this work? And I said, it's just the knowingness that whatever I decide to put my mind to, I can create. And that's a great feeling to know, whether it's, a billion-dollar company, whether it's a family, whether it's being in amazing shape, whether it's having a lot more confidence, whatever that thing is, I know that I can figure it out and get it using the mind. So that was what I became obsessed with over the last 11 years. Helps a lot of entrepreneurs do the same thing, and also professional athletes. I also help as well. It all comes back to the same thing. So today, what I want every single person here to get is one big shift in their own life, in your own life, that you can literally take away and change from today. Okay. So, like I said, this is going to be very interactive today. So, what I'd love to know first from you guys is, when you zoom out, I want you to imagine yourself going 30,000 feet above from where you're at right now. Zoom all the way out, all the way, all the way out. And I want you to think, okay, what is your ultimate vision for your life, for your business, however it comes through? And I want you to just take a few seconds to think about that and just type out, do a word or a line or two in the chat right now. I want every single person to do this, because then there's a reason why. And as you're thinking and typing now, the reason why is because that is exactly what we're going to create today. We're going to move that vision from being far away to right in front of you. And the reason we do that is because when that vision becomes so real to you that it feels more real than your current reality, that is when you create quantum growth. That is when you get there 100, 1,000 times faster. That is how you take these leaps. So I want you guys to type out a few things about your vision or a main goal, just the top one or two things that are just really important to you, that if you could just wave a magic wand and have it right now in this moment, it would make you feel amazing, better than ever before. What would that be? Right. Dan said, I want to be able to give my children the activities and best doctors. I love that. We've got freedom. independence, experience. Amazing. Change my sleep schedule. That's a big one. I work with people with actually, so we can talk about that. Financial independence, healthier, big success in business. What is big success to you? Define that. I want to know what big success means to you. Successful business, financial freedom, time freedom. We got financial freedom again. I want to build a big brand. No fear of rejection, sales. Okay, cool. We can talk about that as well. A solid business with an optimistic forecast for growth, which would mean financially secure and a plan to expand my impact and help others. Amazing. I wish to have my soul's authentic messages to bleed into all of the gifts I have to serve people and humanity. Wow. Love that, Jessica. Confidence by the voice of freedom for many and myself. Amazing. Financial freedom, time, time luxury, more time with my family. Amazing. Make money and scale my business. Awesome. Change my messed up sleep schedule and take control over my ADHD and overthinking, financial freedom and success, happiness to others, doing
Mm.
global impact in various businesses around the world. Amazing. International success in business that does at least 1 million a
Mm.
month while making an impact to others.
Mhm.
Amazing. In flow state, empowering people to live interactive experiences from the stage so that people are able to give their highest. Help 88 million families change lives. Wow. Write a book, bestseller at that. Love it. All right. You guys have some incredible visions. And Ollie just needs to be on the moon, I think. I want to know about this moon life you've got going on, Ollie. I'll have to speak to you in a minute about that. Pay off my house. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, guys, I love your visions. I can tell I can tell you guys are all connected to Zena because she had a lot of these attributes. I'll tell you this, I was speaking to her very late last night, her time. She couldn't sleep. I don't know if you saw this on her stories. And I actually did a sleep hypnosis for her, so to help her get to sleep actually. So for a few of you guys who are experiencing that with sleep, could definitely help you with that. It's the foundation. It's sometimes the unsexy stuff that is the most powerful. So we can definitely get into that. All right, cool. So now when you think about that vision, I want you to type 1 to 3 words for when you truly visualize that vision and you see it right in front of you and you think about it. What, how would you describe how you feel when you think about that vision? What are the emotions that come up? It could be the sensations, the thoughts, how it would make you feel. Couple words to describe that for me. Don't overthink this, just whatever comes through first. Abundance. Yes. Bliss, peace, excitement. Excited, happy, grateful, expansive, oneness, connection. I love you guys. You guys are crushing this. Like I can breathe, calm, confident, and happy, passionate, purpose, life fulfilled, busy. Yeah. Free and happy, joy, gratitude, relief, security, contentment. Amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So here's the secret to getting what you want much, much, much faster. If you think about it, this is how your future self will feel when you have this reality. So the key and the secret is to feeling this right now and becoming this version of you right now. Because if you think about that future version of yourself right now, how much easier is it for them to do the things that you need to do right now in order to achieve those goals? How much more easy does it feel when you think about it from that version of yourself? Because you think about it another way, the life that you have right now, your past self at some point, could be 6 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, once dreamed of having the life that you have right now in some aspect. So that's living proof to show how this works in the future. Okay. And so all we need to do is get you so familiar with that self that instead it's not about pushing more. It's not about grinding through. Look, don't get me wrong. You want to build something big, you want to build an empire, you got to put in the hard work. We got that's a given. You guys are advanced being in here, so I don't need to tell you go work hard. You already know that. But if it was just working hard, then Uber drivers would be driving around in yachts. They work hard, but they're not as financially successful. Jeff Bezos is driving around in a $500 million yacht. Does he necessarily work more hours than an Uber driver who works 12 hours a day? Maybe, maybe not. Right. So it's not just, if it was just hard work, they'd already be there. Now, here's the thing. If you go on ChatGPT and you check what Andrew Tate, Michael Jordan, um, Tiger Woods, and Winston Churchill all have in common, it's that they all use hypnosis. And so my first ever mentor said to me when I was 19 years old, success leaves clues. So if you can figure out what successful people are doing that they're not necessarily saying or telling you, and you can do that, your odds of being successful are a lot higher. That's why you get mentors, right? That's why you invest in programs like this, right? It's to cut the learning curve to get to where you want to go faster and easier. Well, what we're talking about here is cutting that curve by becoming that version of yourself faster and easier. And here's the thing, all of you would have done this already in your life in some way or another, maybe knowingly or unknowingly. Think about a time maybe you transitioned jobs, or maybe it was when you decided to start a business, or maybe you moved somewhere across the world. Think about an example in your own life. You don't have to type this out, but just think about this for yourself as I'm talking. When you did that, how much you changed, how maybe your characteristics changed, maybe your habits changed, the way you viewed yourself changed, your self-image. It just somehow changed really quickly. The most successful people, I've had the privilege of working with some of the most successful people in the world. And the one trait I've noticed they all have in common is that this process of changing their identity and who they are doesn't happen by accident. They do it intentionally. They know how to reinvent themselves, to become a new version of themselves, to speak what they want into reality and make it happen. Imagine if, let's use Athena as an example, because everybody knows her. Who here agrees that she's a confident person in the way that she speaks, right? If you had her level of confidence, do you think you would have vastly more success in your life if you just had it right now, if you had her level of confidence? And you could replace confidence with her energy, with her demeanor, like whatever resonates with you. You probably would, right? Well, here's the thing. I can guarantee you she didn't always have that. I guarantee she didn't come out of the womb with that level of confidence. Without even knowing her whole story, you guys probably know her story better than me, but I can guarantee she didn't always have that. She would have created that at some point in her life. And all of you can do the exact same thing for whatever it is that you need to get to the next level in your life. And we can do it by reprogramming the mind. Now, the way the mind works is it can be your best friend or your greatest enemy. It can work for you or it can work against you. What we're going to do today is we're going to show you how it can work for you, be your greatest ally. So just to give a little bit of explanation on it, I'm not going to go too deep into the science of it because we'll be here for 6 hours, but just to give you a little bit of explanation of it. To make it really simple, we have our conscious mind and our unconscious mind, or our subconscious mind, okay? Conscious mind is what we're using right now. I'm speaking to you, you're listening, focused. This is using your conscious mind. This is about 1% of your mind. The subconscious mind is 99% of your mind. So that's, you almost can't even compare them for how big of a gap this is. So the reason this is important to know, because for a few of you said, maybe you had some habits you wanted to change, or ADHD, or whatever it was that was holding you back. Part of you wants to say, okay, I want to go in this direction. I want to do these actions for my business. I want to create this success in my life. But then for some reason, it's like there's this force holding you back, or there's just this invisible ceiling that you're just not quite able to break through, even though you seem to be doing a lot of the right things. That is your subconscious holding you back. And until you make the unconscious conscious, it will always hold you back. So today, we're going to change that by removing the things in your subconscious that are holding you back. We can quite literally remove it. You see, the mind is like a computer. Computers were actually built on the same psychological model as the mind. So they work in the same way. So if you think about the mind and the computer as having a lot of similarities, if your computer has a virus, for anybody who remembers what would happen when there was a virus on a computer, you'd get an antivirus and you'd clean the computer out, right? I don't even know if that even exists nowadays. I just remember always having to do antivirus on the computer. But that's what you would do. You would remove the virus. So it only makes sense that if there's something in the mind that's stopping you, some kind of limiting belief, some kind of fear, some kind of negativity, we just remove it. Okay. Just like a surgeon would remove a tumor from a body, and everything works properly again. So yeah, like Ollie said, we only have so much RAM. Exactly that. So I want you guys to think right now, what is the one thing that is actually holding you back right now from a mental perspective? It could be a fear, it could be a limiting belief, that if that was gone and it was completely removed, the pathway would just open up. And that vision that you just described, it would just come so much faster, so much easier, so much more effortlessly. If you could just have that one thing that's stopping you, what would it be? I want you to take a minute and type that in the chat. Dan said time. Janine said fear of rejection in sales/business development. Big one. Love that. Love that, Janine. Thanks for sharing that. Free time, balance, fear of success. While you guys are typing, Janine, I'm gonna pick probably three of you throughout this call to do a one-on-one little intervention workshop with, right? And when I pick these, it's gonna apply to everyone. But what's gonna happen is, even if I'm not speaking directly to you, this is gonna resonate with you. So really pay attention to this. So Janine, if you're happy to share and come off mute, you said fear of rejection in sales. Talk to me a bit more about that.
Yes. Although I've been in sales, maybe something happened in the past where, I don't know, I just got rejected many times. And since then, I kind of feel like, oh, even if I offer and put out this offer out there, people are not going to want it. If it was somebody else, they would want to buy it because it's that other person, but not for me, which I know is stupid.
Thank you for sharing that. First of all, who else can relate to that? Type of one in the chat if you can relate to your own version of that. There we go. Look, you're not alone, Janine. You're not alone. See, if you think about that fear of rejection, tell me about a time when that happened, like a memory that really sticks out for you.
It just happened 2 weeks ago, and it was one of those typical ones where I feel like German man, German male executive.
Got it. And what did he say? What was his response?
Well, this person ghosted completely. It was a yes earlier, then just ghosted. Although he said he wanted my coaching service. And for others, it could be sometimes just a price, or just like direct feedback on ha ha ha, how does a young woman like you offer that? Like some of like back in the days when I started my entrepreneurship here in China. Yeah.
It's funny when you said about that last example of ha ha ha, that being a young woman. It reminds me, going back to that seminar I went to when I was 19, I was one of the youngest guys in the room, and I remember feeling exactly what you just said. I felt almost like this imposter syndrome slash who would want to listen to me because I was selling to 60-year-old white male business owners. Um, and I remember thinking, why would they listen to me? And Tony said something super interesting. He said, some of you are going to think you're too young to be taken seriously. And you're right. Some of you are going to think, oh, I'm too old now. I'm past it. Who's going to take me seriously? And you're right. That shattered my whole perception about this fear of rejection because it doesn't matter where you are. It's the only thing that you can control is your perception and your perspective. Okay, I want you guys to remember this. As entrepreneurs, a big part of the reason you get into entrepreneurship is so you can control your own life. You can have more influence over your life. You can create the freedom that you want to create. So you don't have to be told what to do by a boss, do a 9 to 5. That was why I started entrepreneurship back then. It wasn't even because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. It was just because I didn't want to be told what to do and, and have a job, to be honest with you. And so that that fear, that limiting belief, if you think about it, all you have to do, and I spoke about this on my stories a few days ago on Instagram. Somebody said, how do you overcome negative thoughts? And I said, negative thoughts are fantastic because negative thoughts are the key to unlocking the next level of growth that you need. So if you have a thought like that in your head of like, okay, like maybe I won't be taken seriously, or um, oh, why aren't I successful in business? Why don't people sign up to my program? That thought, all you have to do is change it to a better input. Because that's just an input going into your mind. Like, again, like the computer analogy that we're talking about. You have 70,000 thoughts per day. Most of them are unconscious. And so by becoming aware of what these thoughts are, immediately you now know what that input is. All you have to do is change it to a better input, a better question. So, yeah, why would people want to listen to me because I'm younger? Or why would people want to buy myself? Well, because I have an advantage they don't have. I'm much more aware of technology than they are. I have way more energy, right? I have way more enthusiasm. I have all these things, and suddenly I want you guys to be thinking about this for yourself. What are the actual reasons for it? Because if you notice what all of the most successful people do, whatever their situation is, they use it to their advantage. I'll give you an example of somebody who has done this stuff really well. When we talk about manifestation, Conor McGregor, okay? Back in his early days, he also uses hypnosis, by the way. He was so he's a UFC fighter. I'm sure most of you guys know who that is. He was working on a building site, making minimum wage, and he was telling everyone, "I'm going to be UFC champion of the world." That was delusional to say at the time. He had no credibility, had no competence at that time. People say confidence comes from competence. Bullshit. It doesn't. It's a decision, it's an internal state. What happened? That confidence led him to doing the actions, it led him to beating his opponent psychologically before he even got into the octagon and winning. He wasn't even the best fighter in the world, but he won because of that mindset that he had. And that was simply a decision. You have the clear vision, and then you match it with the level of confidence that you need. And essentially, you positively brainwash yourself. Now, you might say, well, isn't that delusional to just say, suddenly, I don't fear rejection. I'm the best at what I do. Well, maybe, but isn't it more delusional to believe in the illusion of fear that's holding you back? Because if the only thing that's holding you back is some fear, from your vision, which you know what it is, doesn't that seem kind of crazy in comparison? I want to ask you, I'll get to you in 1 second, Jonathan. What does fear stand for? Does anybody know what fear stands for? It's an acronym. I want to see if anybody knows in the chat. What does fear stand for? See if anyone can type it in the chat faster than me. Something apparently real. It stands for this: false evidence appearing real. It isn't actually real if you think about it. And almost no fears are real. We're the only species on Earth that can be scared of something that isn't even true. Back in 2021, this was during lockdown COVID times. I was in London and I was fed up from being locked down for so long. The UK came out of lockdown for a day, and I decided I'm getting out of here. I left my apartment in London. I flew to Greece. I thought I'll go figure it out over there. I want to, escape and get some nice weather or something. On the 4-hour flight to Greece from London, Greece went into an even more severe lockdown in London. So as soon as I got there, I had to go straight to my Airbnb, and I basically had to stay there. It's a massive 3-story place because it was, COVID. No one was renting anywhere, so it's got this big ass place. I'm sitting on the roof, have a glass of wine in my hand. I'm looking over at the beautiful sunset. It's like 8 p.m. summertime, and I'm looking at this sunset. But all I can think in my mind is all of this fear. Like, what if I lose it, or what if it doesn't work out? Why would anybody really trust me? I felt like an imposter, like it was all going to come crashing down at any moment. And this fear just kept going around in my head, and again and again and again. It was this repetitive thought. The very next day, when I woke up and I opened up my laptop, I went onto my emails. I'll never forget it. I could refresh my emails and I just see client cancellation, 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 cancellation. And within 48 hours, I lost over half of my entire client base in my company. And you know what was funny? I started hysterically laughing. You would have thought I was literally lost my mind. The reason I started laughing was because that fear that was in my mind for all of that time, all of those negative thoughts, all of that suffering that I went through came true. It happened. But it was nowhere near as bad as it was in my mind. And isn't it funny how that's oftentimes the case? The actual thing happening that you're most scared of isn't actually that bad if it happens. To me, that was the worst thing that could have happened back then. And it happened. And it taught me one of the most valuable lessons I ever learned. You don't just create or manifest what you think about positively. You manifest whatever you're thinking about in your mind. So the easiest thing you can do right now is just change your thoughts, because what you focus on is what you create. It really comes down to that. I've been deep into this stuff for over a decade now. I can tell you that is a simple truth. Whatever you focus on is what you create. So we better get very, very crystal clear about what we're focusing on today. And so when I started to realize how this works for the positive, then I started to change things. Then that's when things started to move very, very, very quickly. Hundreds of clients then was able to start signing just by getting myself really clear on exactly what is the outcome I'm having, and not just believing it, not just doing some affirmations, truly believing that that reality existed right now. I'm just going to read a couple comments while we're here. So Katharina said, the fear of not cracking the code to scale my business and pay my salary, trying for almost a year. I keep feeling like I'm about to crack the code and it's driving in circles. Okay. My thoughts create my reality. If I focus on positive and on getting clients, will it eventually come? 100%. Here's the thing. You have to fully, fully believe it. This is the key. You have to have so much belief, because people are not just buying your service. Whatever you're selling them, they're not buying your service. What they're buying is certainty that you can help them get the outcome that they want in their business. So let's say you're helping them get more clients in their business or to optimize their business in some way. What they're actually buying from you on that sales call is the belief and certainty that you can help them achieve that outcome. That is why they are saying yes. A lot of you guys talked about sales. I do a lot of work with salespeople. I've helped a lot of salespeople make millions and millions of dollars through this one thing. Sales equals belief. The more belief you have, the more people will want to pay you money. It really is as simple as that. You can replace belief for conviction. It's the same thing. That's what people are really buying from you. That is why I want all of you to think right now, a competitor of yours who's doing better than you financially, but you know for a fact they do not offer as good a service as you. They do not care as much as you. You literally do a better job than them, but yet they're ahead of you. Why is that the case? Because they have this. They have that conviction. And maybe it's just ignorance. Maybe they're intentional about it. Doesn't really matter how it works. It just works. So that is the key. That is the absolute key. Ryan said, I am absolutely certain I can help my clients. Why I don't have is the belief that people will purchase from me. Okay, Ryan, jump off mute for a minute. Talk to me. What do you mean by that? Tell me a little bit more.
Yep, I've got it. I'm super confident on the tech side and what I've offered and all my careers and all the stuff that I've built. But my track record over the last 7 years of fails in things, not in the product, but in the sales part. And now it's just so hard to believe and make a shift. So I'd love the practical, how do I practically do this and meditate and try making that shift?
So just so I'm clear, you feel very confident when it comes to the delivery, the technical side, but in the sales, less confident. Is that right?
Yeah, and less is understatement.
Okay.
So
Why do
anything
you
in
think that
sales
is?
that I've tried to do has always been difficult. Even last year, because of COVID, or 3 years ago, I was trying to sell free money. You'd get back tens of thousands of dollars to businesses that had done anything related to COVID in the US. And I was completely free money. And I couldn't do the sales. And I fully believed in it. So I'm really struggling on the sales side. I'm more technical. I'm kind of geeky, but I'm conversational. People trust me. If I partner with somebody else, they usually do really well because people absolutely trust me and believe me. But for some reason, the sales part is just really difficult.
Okay. Who else feels like that? Type of one in the chat if you've got some version of that. Well, we're going to stay on. There we go. Look, you're not alone, bro.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure.
you've been here for a while, okay? You know yourself better than I do right now. If being fully honest with yourself, fully self-aware, what do you think's the real thing holding you back when it comes to sales?
Um, my fear is that like I stammer over it, and then somehow I must give out some sort of vibe that people don't believe in me or buy. I don't get how they can absolutely trust in me and believe in me, but I don't convince them to purchase. I can get them right to the finish line. Like they want it. They say everything that they want it, but I just can't. So I don't know. I'm sure there's some fear somewhere.
What do you think the fear is?
Well, Katiana did a really good job helping me do my first webinar. And I was terrified to even practice privately in my room and practice it out loud. So I know that was one huge thing that I had to overcome and learn. That made a huge difference just doing it that one time and several times doing that. So that was a piece of it. I have a big fear of selling stuff. I never wanted to be the pushy salesman. I hate being manipulated, but I absolutely believe in this product. I absolutely believe in my abilities, my, look back at the accomplishments that I've had in the past. So where is the disconnect?
You just said it.
What did I say? Maybe I can't even realize it.
Anybody else realize what Ryan said? You said, I don't want to be the pushy salesman. I don't want to be, maybe you were manipulated in the past. You don't want to be that guy.
Ah,
So here's the thing. There's two parts of you right now. There's the part of you who does have full belief in what you can do in your technical skills, but then there's another part of you who doesn't want to be this pushy salesman. And you're somewhere in your subconscious, this belief is that if you are to really sell someone, quote unquote, that word sell, how does that even make you feel? What kind of connotations does that have when you think about
oh yeah,
sales,
yeah.
salesman, right? What comes up in your mind? And everybody else here, when you think about that as well, when you think about selling, what comes up in your mind? Because here's the thing, there's so much programming around sales, what that means, movies, experiences from the past, whatever it is. And so manipulation, see, sales in Jessica's mind equals manipulation. Maybe that comes up for a bit for you. You're clearly a
Mhm.
good person. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here asking this question. So you don't want to manipulate people, which is great. And you're not. But what you're also doing is you're depriving them from you being able to help them. Here's the thing with sales. It's not about you, it's about them. I posted something on my story today about public speaking. It's the number one fear that we have in the Western world, public speaking. Why do we have that fear? Why is that the number one fear? You think about it, it's just standing and speaking in front of people. There's no danger, nothing bad can really happen. But what goes through your mind when you think about public speaking? Maybe I'll, like you said, stammer over it. Maybe I'll forget what to say. Maybe people will judge me. It's all about me, 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 me. So that focus creates the fear. Because what are we focused on? We're focused on not wanting to be pushy, not wanting to stammer, not wanting to mess up, not wanting to fail. And then that is the self-fulfilling prophecy which creates that. So here's the first thing to do when it comes to sales. Stop focusing on what you don't want to do, how you don't want to show up. Focus on how can you help that person? How can you serve that person? Sales is service. I want you guys to write that down. Sales is service. You cannot serve someone if you do not sell them. It is impossible. If you truly believe in what you do as much as you said you did, and you really mean that, you would do everything in your power to help that person to make the best decision for themselves. And sometimes maybe it's not the right decision for them. Fair enough. That's absolutely fine. You part ways, you help them as much as you can, you move on. But the chances are, if they've gone through that whole process to get on a call with you, they have a problem that you can most probably help them solve. And so every time you do not sell someone, you're not just hurting yourself, you're hurting them when you truly have something to give. So that's the reframe I want you to make in your head. Sales is service. This is one of the biggest things I help salespeople with too, by the way. Whenever they're not performing, it's usually because of something around this. And that, what does that do? It stops your level of true belief and conviction coming through. Because when you truly remember why you were on that call and you truly focus on them, you'll do anything you can to help them with whatever they need. You will challenge them where you need to. Any objection that they give, they say, I need to think about it. You don't want to take that because why would you accept that? That's not going to help them. They're just going to continue on that pathway, not changing their life, not improving their business, whatever it is you're helping them with. So you will not accept that. And guess what? When it's not about what you say, it's about the place it's coming from. And people can feel that. Someone can tell, like, nowadays, man, people are so much more sophisticated. They can tell when they're trying to be manipulated. People are a lot wiser. The market is more sophisticated nowadays. People can feel when you're being real. like right now, you can probably feel I'm being real with you, right? You can tell where this is coming from as I'm speaking to you. On some level, you can intuitively feel it, consciously or not, that this is real, what I'm saying to you. And so you actually feel it. And when you are coming from that place, that is when you will, dude, you will never have a problem with sales ever again when you're doing that. And so we're going to work on that in a little bit today. We're going to focus on that as one of the things, because what we're actually going to do for everybody here is we're going to do an actual hypnosis session to help you actually make this shift once and for all. And that's going to be one of the things that we do. Okay. So that you actually walk away with that shift. Because here's the thing, everyone here is running a business. Everybody here wants to grow that business, help more clients. And so even if we just focus on that one thing, that's going to help all of you here today. But I don't want to stop at that. I want to continue and get some more in there. I like to, everyone here is an overachiever. I like to give as much as possible. So we're going to keep going. But Ryan, thank you for sharing that. We're going to come back to that. It's going to be a big change. I want to give one or two more people an opportunity to share what's something that has been holding you back in your business, could be in your personal life, something that you just haven't been able to shift. And if you could shift this one thing, it would change everything. What would that be for you? All right, fear of success. Jessica, you were first. Take yourself off mute. Tell me a bit more about that. What do you mean by fear of success?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
I think I've actually am really good at sales, but there's like this energy block or something about stepping into my fullness that I've had for a long time. I was a successful athlete, successful in all the careers that I do. But in 2018, I had an experience that gave me PTSD in the career I was in as a private chef on a super yacht. And it went all the way in, and I had no armor against it. And it totally shook my confidence. So that was a very big role I was stepping into that I put myself out there to do, taking a chance. And then that happened, and it changed how I look at that energy. And even though I love helping people and being in service to people, that fulfills me, that energy block, I was pretty sure I healed it all and really went into it, but it still seems to like hover around when I'm trying to step into my fullness, because I have so much to offer and I truly love helping people and being in service. But that thing is still like a little scary piece that I felt go all the way into my heart. So
when you say that thing, can you tell me a bit more about that experience back then, just so I'm clear on it?
My sous chef on the boat, I was actually working for Larry Page, the Google creator. And I was the head chef on the boat in the middle of Sumatra. And I didn't realize my sous chef, my chef under me, wanted my job. So he was feeding information that wasn't real to the captain. And he was wearing me down on purpose, making it very hard to work with him. And then I never asked for help. And when I finally asked for help, it came back on me and I was yelled at in my personal space. And it was scary. And I didn't know I was being set up. So it felt like a betrayal.
When you think back to that memory right now, where do you feel that betrayal in your body? Where do you feel it?
In my nervous system. Like it doesn't feel safe.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Feeling safe is essential to be able to be the most successful version of yourself. I was once at a different event and there was a female speaker and she said, hands up if you're a woman, first of all, who has felt unsafe anytime in the past year, 100% of women put their hand up. She asked the same question to men, about 30% put their hand up. She then said, okay, who's felt unsafe in the past 7 days? Women, about 85% of women still put their hand up. Almost no men did. That was so shocking to me to realize that, and to realize just how important it is to feel safe in yourself. Now, when it comes to this, we can call it trauma, I just call it past events, things that happen, because I don't like to give weight to things that happened in your past. Now, the past isn't the past until you truly let go of it. And in order to do that, you have to truly face it. There are methods to do that. Maybe you've tried some stuff before. I would love to take you through it right now, but I'm conscious of time. So I may send you something after, but I'm just going to give you something that will help you immediately. And all I want you to do right now is think back to that event. And when you think back to it and you imagine it, I want you to just close your eyes for a moment. And for anybody else who's experienced something difficult from the past as well, you can also do this, okay? Because this is extremely powerful. This is how you truly release things that are holding you back, unblock things, release trauma. You don't need 10 years of therapy to do this. You can do this in a couple of minutes, okay? I've worked with people who've gone through some seriously traumatic things, and my heart goes out to them, but you don't have to live there, okay? The only reason why it stays in you is because that event had so much significance. There was so much emotional charge that came from it. You felt unsafe, like you said. So what the mind does is it repeats that memory and makes sure you don't forget it, because it wants to make sure you don't experience that again. It's trying to keep you safe. The only problem with that is it trying to do that is the very thing that's stopping you from living to your fullness, like you said. So for just a minute right now, I want you to do something different. I want you to think back to that memory. I want you to close your eyes. Do this for me. And anybody else can join this. If you've had anything from the past that's been tough for you, think back to it. I want you to now recreate that memory. And I want you to imagine that you're watching on a giant movie screen in front of you. And I want you to remember where you were, how old you were, what clothes you were wearing, how you felt, what was being said at that time. Was anybody else there? Could you smell anything? Were you touching anything? Could you taste anything? Really bringing in all of your senses. What could you hear? What are the dominant sounds, feelings? And I want you to now amplify them. I want you to double it. I want you to now make that memory in HD, crystal clear clarity, like you're watching it right in front of you. And now what I want you to do is you'll probably start to notice that you can actually feel some kind of sensation in your body. You can maybe even feel like a bodily response. Maybe it's in your chest, in your stomach, or somewhere else. I want you to notice that. I want you to put one hand on your stomach. I want you to bring the breath down from your chest into your stomach. And when you've done this, you'll notice that your hand starts to gently expand and contract. And if you're ready to truly let go of this once and for all, and move past it, in your mind, you can say yes, if you're ready. And all I want you to do is take 10 breaths with me right now, in through your nose and out through your nose for slightly longer, mouth closed, starting now. Take in those breaths at your own pace. Keeping that memory front of mind. Instead of running away from the fire, I want you to run towards it. I want you to stay with it. And with every breath, you'll notice yourself feeling more relaxed. You'll notice a little more of that sensation starting to go away. starting to pass. Continuing with that breath. With every breath, you feel more and more calm. You feel more relaxed. You feel more safe in your body. You feel it being letting go of. You feel the tension going away. And I want you to just take the last 2 breaths, slightly deeper in this time, softening on the exhale. And now what I want you to do is see that movie, that memory right in front of you. I want you to send it 1,000 miles away into the distance, 1,000 miles away, another 1,000 miles away, another 1,000 miles away, until it becomes a tiny dot. Try and focus on that as much as possible. I want you to now imagine a red border goes around that memory. And now I want you to turn it black and white. And lastly, I want you to imagine, like just like on an old TV when it would go static, it goes all static. Zzz. And now, as you see that memory that's so far away, the more you try to see that memory, the harder it becomes to associate with it. It goes further and further and further away, the more you try to think about it. And you notice now that I want you to try and bring up the emotions that you felt before. And the more you try to do that, the more you realize that you actually can't bring them up anymore, that it has gone away. You feel much more calm. It's different. I want you to take one final deep breath in and give a nice audible exhale, a sigh of relief. And notice how now, when you try and go and think back to that memory, it feels different. And when you're ready, you can come back and actually try and go think back to it. Everyone who just did that. Jessica, how was that for you? Oh, you're just on mute at the moment. One sec.
It was very good. I could see myself. It was all surrounded in flames, and then I could see myself just saying no and pushing it away, and just kept pushing it away until it was just a tiny little postage stamp.
What happens now when you think back to that memory?
I don't feel the same emotional connection to it. Like it was like I almost couldn't breathe before.
That's it. That's how you know it's gone. You can think back to it, it's still there. It's like when you had your first heartbreak, and when you think back to that, it caused so much emotion inside of you. But then at some point, you've moved on, you can think back to that person, and it either feels neutral or maybe you even feel some gratitude for that point in your life. That's how you know when you've moved on and let it go. And it's exactly the same thing with this. That is how quickly and easy you can change. Okay. That's something that could have been with you for I don't know how many years, but a significant amount of time. Within just a few minutes, you were able to let that go and change that relationship. Okay. Therapists do not want you to know this because it will put them out of business. It does not take a long time to have changes. And you can apply this anywhere in your life. Okay. I'll drop a document after, like a free resource you guys can use to do this in your own time. But it really is that simple. Okay. That is how easy and quick change can be. We didn't even get into the hypnosis yet, by the way. that was something else. I just wanted to give you
Thank
guys
you
that.
so much.
But of course, and I'm really, I just want to say I really honor and respect you for one, sharing that, and then two, going through that, because I think you also just inspired a lot of other people in this group as well through doing that. All right. Props to you guys. Props to Jessica. Now, we're going to get into the really fun bit, okay? The real reason you guys came. We're going to get into an actual hypnosis session, okay? Now, here's the thing with this. Just like you experienced a little bit of that, change happens quickly when you let it, right? It is just a limiting belief that change takes a long time. It does not matter. I don't care if you've had 1,000 failed sales calls and 10,000 failed businesses. I don't care if you're Colonel Sanders, who failed 1,000 times before starting KFC. Doesn't matter. It's in the past. This moment right now, here, whatever time it is for you, it's 10:30 p.m. here in London where I am right now. Whatever the time is for you, this is a new moment. The only thing that exists is right now. And so you have the opportunity right now to make a decision, and this is up to you. I can't force you. This is your decision. You can choose to change who you are and change the trajectory of your life right now. I'm not exaggerating this. I'm being deadly serious with you, okay? If you want to take part in this, in the hypnosis, I'm going to explain how this works. I'm also going to give a few minutes for questions if anybody has questions about it. Couple of things. If you have headphones, grab some headphones for this. If you don't, it's okay. It'll still work. But ideally, if you have headphones, put some in. Bonus points if they're noise canceling. Go grab those now. Whilst you guys are grabbing those, get in a nice comfortable position. A seat, if you're in a comfortable seat right now, that's absolutely perfect. There's only two things that you need to do to be successful and get the absolute most and the changes that you want to get. One is just follow the words that I say, and two, relax. That is it. There's no way to do this wrong. If you're here, if you're conscious, this is going to work for you. All I need is your focus and for you guys to relax, which I'm going to guide you through how to do. A few things with hypnosis, okay? For any of you who aren't on camera, if you're doing anything outside right now, driving, operating any heavy machinery, I don't know why you would be. I just have to say it as a disclaimer. Pause this. Don't do this right now. Come back to it. I'm sure there'll be a recording of this you can do. For everybody else who is present here, just seated. We're going to get into this in just a second. Common questions. Am I controlling your mind? No. Do you go unconscious or to sleep? No, you'll be conscious the whole time. You'll just be in a very relaxed, peaceful state. It actually feels really, really nice going into this. It's very deeply relaxing and it feels amazing. Anyone who has religious or spiritual beliefs, this doesn't get in the way of that. If anything, I find it brings you closer to whatever your beliefs are in God or the universe or whatever your beliefs are, because you're just becoming more of you. We're removing the stuff that holds you back and we're helping you become more of you, more of your true self. So there's that. Does anybody have any questions about this before we dive in just a moment? Okay. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Has anyone done hypnosis before, by the way? I'm just curious. Anyone been hypnotized before? A little bit? Okay.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool. Shane has. Dan hasn't. Cool. So my intention for this session, that's a really good question. So this is going to be designed around all of the things you have spoken about today. So your guys' visions and the things that are holding you back. That is my intention. It's to remove the things that are holding you back and get you aligned with your guys' visions, okay? That's the purpose of this. So I want you one more time to type out one main goal. So just do a one. What is one main goal? If you could have one outcome from this that was just here immediately, instantly, right now, what would that be? One line. Second thing, if you could let go of or remove one thing holding you back, a fear, limiting belief, whatever it is, write that thing down right now. Okay, Jessica said safety and success. Love that. Successful entrepreneurial mindset. Okay, awesome. Release of what ifs. Yep. I hear that. Same. Okay. Clarity. Yep. Overcome self-sabotage from holding me back from excelling for my business. Yep. Got that. Successfully impacting, successful impact making abundant entrepreneur. Wow. I love that, Janine. Release any fears and blockages holding me back. Okay. Sleep earlier tonight. Yeah. Feel more enthusiastic like I used to. Okay. Release fear of man. Fear of not providing for my family. Got you, Dan. Discipline. If I say yes, it's a yes. If I say no, it's a no. It's a no. Got you. Okay. All right. I want everybody to type something in here. You get out. This is important. This is what you get out of this. So this is for you guys, not me. Fear of what others think. Got you. I'm gonna vote for self-sabotage. Gotcha. Embodying the future place of group personal empowerment experiences. All right. Procrastination, letting go of that. Yep. One plus for abundance. All right. Lack of confidence. Okay. Self-sabotage, brain fog. Yep. Okay. Great. It's really, really good, guys. This is good. Okay. So we're going to get into it in just a second. Remember, there's only two things you need to do. One is just follow the words that I say, and two, relax. That is all. You do those two things, you will have a fantastic experience doing this, okay? I want you to start by just sitting nice and comfortably in your chair. I want you to just rest your hands gently on your lap, face up or face down, whatever you prefer. And we're going to start by taking just 7 deep breaths in. This time, we're going to breathe in through the nose, into the belly, into the chest, and then release through the mouth, starting in 3, 2, 1. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and release. You can close your eyes down now if you feel comfortable. Deep breath in and relax. Deep breath in, letting go. Last 2 breaths, deepest breaths of the day. Breathing in and relax. All the way in and all the way out. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you now to start to imagine there is a heaviness on your eyelids. And I want you to imagine that this heaviness on your eyes starts to get heavier and heavier and heavier. So much so that that relaxation flows down your entire body. The entire body immediately just feels completely heavy, completely relaxed. And I want you now to imagine that your eyes are so heavy that they are in fact stuck. And I want you to imagine that the more you try to open your eyes, the more stuck that they become. And the more stuck that they become, the better and more relaxed that you start to feel. And in a moment, when I say the word sleep, you won't actually go to sleep. You'll go into a very calm and even more deeply relaxed state. Focus on exactly what I'm saying in 3, 2, 1, and sleep. Fully relaxing all the way down, letting all of the relaxation go down through the neck. Your head goes fully relaxed as you sleep with 2, 1. And every time I say the word sleep, you go 1,000 times deeper and sleep all the way down, fully relaxed. Any thoughts, fears, or worries in the mind have just floated away like a cloud, and you are fully focused on the words that I'm saying to you. And in a moment, when I start counting down, every single time I say a number in your mind, you will whisper the words deeper asleep in your mind, starting now from 100, 99, 98, 97, 96, going even deeper into this state of complete relaxation. The body has gone completely heavy from your feet to the legs, which have gone completely stuck to the surface beneath you. The more stuck you feel, the more relaxed you feel. And in a moment, I want you to imagine that you're opening the doors to your backyard of your dream property. And as you open these doors, you walk out into your yard, and there is an expansive grass area for as long as you can see. There's beautiful nature, there's trees. You're walking out barefoot. And as you walk out into your yard, you can feel the soil and the grass beneath your feet. And you can feel the temperature of the sun beating down on your back. And as you look out at the expansive nature around you, you can actually hear the distant sound of birds. And you feel completely at peace, completely calm, completely relaxed, just complete bliss. There's nothing you need in this moment. You feel just so good just being. And now as you walk in your backyard, suddenly you realize that in the ground, there is a giant metal door leading down into the ground. And so you curiously walk up to it. And as you do, you grab the big handle with both hands and you open this giant door and it slams down on the other side. And what it reveals is some stairs going down into the ground and a dimly lit underground tunnel. And so you see yourself right now looking down at those 5 metal stairs, and you can see them so clearly right now in front of you. And so as you take the first step down these metal stairs, you immediately go 1,000 times deeper into this state of sleep. And as you take step after step, you go even deeper down, all the way deep down into this underground tunnel. Suddenly you realize that this is actually an underground bunker, and there's a long corridor directly in front of you with doors on the left and doors on the right. And you first of all open the first door that you see on the left-hand side of this tunnel. And as you open it, you go into another dimly lit room and the door slams shut behind you. And suddenly in this room, all of your fears, all of your limiting beliefs, all of those familiar things that were holding you back start to arise. They start to come at you. The fear of feeling terrified, being fearful of selling, not wanting to be pushy, not believing in yourself, the fear of success, all of these fears and beliefs start to come at you and you start to feel them. It's like they're flying at you. And as they start flying at you and coming at you, water starts to rise in this room. And as this water rises in this room, you can actually feel the water going past your feet right now. And you start to feel it go higher and higher as it goes all the way up to your ankles and all the way up to your knees and all the way up to your legs. And as this water rises in the room, you start to rise with it. And more of those fears come at you, whether it's fear of not being able to provide for those around you or your family. Maybe it's the fear of what other people will think, procrastinating, the fear of being rejected, the fear of being abandoned, maybe the fear of not being good enough. All of these fears continue to amplify more and more and more and more as the water rises even further in this room now, all the way up to your waist, up to your chest, up to your neck. And suddenly you have the realization that in just a few seconds' time, this water is going to rise all the way to the top of the room with you in it. And so with 3, with 2, you take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in right now. The water fills the room and you hold your breath. And so you dive down. Try and find the door to get out of this room, but you can't find it. It's dimly lit. And you dive down again and again. And as you keep diving, all of these fears and all of these limiting beliefs that have been holding you back continue to just plague your mind and get stronger and stronger and stronger. And as you cannot breathe, suddenly the seconds go down and you know that you've only got 30 seconds left, 25 seconds left, 20 seconds left, 15 seconds left. And suddenly everything in your mind just goes still. All of those thoughts, those fears, those limiting beliefs, suddenly they go a million miles away. And everything goes still as you have 5 seconds left. Your consciousness starts to fade, and somehow your hand makes it to that door and opens it. The door opens, you come flying out of that room with all the water coming at it. You get hit by it, and you find yourself laying on the floor of that tunnel once again, completely submerged in water. You take a deep breath. You can breathe again. Everything is still. You lay there in shock at what just happened. You don't know how it happened. It was almost like an act from God saved you. And suddenly, you don't know why, but you jump to your feet. And now all you can see is the very end of that corridor, the end of that tunnel. There is a single door, and you run towards it with all of your might. You run towards that door. You forget all the other doors. They don't matter anymore. And you open that final door. And this time, as you open this door, you find that you're in the control room of the underground bunker. And in this control room is your mind, is your consciousness, is everything that you've ever thought, every memory that you've ever had. And all of those limiting beliefs from that last room, the fear of success, not being good enough, self-sabotage, not being able to provide, procrastination, fear of what other people think, you start ripping them out. You tear them out of the control room. You remove them. You throw them out. You get rid of all of them, one after another, after another, after another. You get rid of all of them and you throw them 1,000 miles away. Now, the more you try to think or associate with them, the further away they get, and they have been removed from the deepest part of your subconscious mind. They have gone. The more you try to think about them, the more you forget them. And now you have all of this space in your mind, in your control room. I want you to see a color, whatever color immediately comes to your mind. I want you to imagine that color in a big ball of light, replacing all of that space, going back into your mind. And this time it's filled with certainty. It's filled with confidence. It's filled with self-belief. It's filled with safety in your success, a successful mindset. It's filled with complete clarity. It's filled with absolute abundance in all areas of life. It's filled with enthusiasm. It's filled with knowing that whatever you say you're going to do, you're going to do, and you put your mind to it. And suddenly that big ball of light expands more and more and more. And as you see and feel that ball expanding more, you feel it in every single cell of your body. You feel yourself expanding, lightening up, your chest expanding, and suddenly you're thrown back once again. You go unconscious for just a second. And as you come to, you find yourself once again laying on the grass. You feel the surface of the grass beneath you. You can hear the distant sound of nature. You can feel the temperature of the sun beating down on your skin once again. And everything is completely peaceful. It's completely still. all of those old thoughts, fears, and limiting beliefs, those things that used to hold you back, you can no longer even associate with. It feels like it was a million years ago that you used to even have them. You literally cannot remember what they even were. As you try right now, you literally cannot. All you now know is that you feel the best you have ever felt. You feel renewed, you feel calm, you feel safe, you feel confident, you feel abundant, you feel like the best version of yourself. You don't just feel like it, you know it is. Those goals that you used to have no longer feel like goals. They are your reality. And as you lay there on the grass, I want you to just notice how real this new reality now feels. And when you open your eyes fully and come back, you will immediately know what to do. You will immediately know exactly what actions to take, and you will do them. And you will feel like the most confident version of yourself that has ever existed. And so it will be in 3, 2, 1. Eyes open, wide awake, wide awake. All right, take a moment to come back. Grab some water if you've got some near you. How was that for you guys? Best thing you can do is just take some time. What will likely happen is the thoughts that you have over the next either hours or couple of days will be things that you really, really want to listen to. Okay. We've just unlocked so much more potential in your mind right now. Go with it. Go with it. Because this is the new version of yourself coming through right now. What I can do, if you guys want, is I can get if you guys send me the recording of this, maybe Janine, I can get this turned into an audio for you with my sound engineer if you guys want to go through this again. People always ask, how often should I do this? That kind of stuff. I just do it once a day. That's really it. What I'll do for you guys is I have a library of audios. I only give this to my clients. It's not even something I sell. I'll just give you guys access to it. So if you want access to it, I'll just get you guys a link, because there's other ones as well, because we couldn't cover everything today, but in those audios, just to give some examples, there's ones on sales, there's ones on confidence, there's ones on, I know a bunch of you guys mentioned sleep, there's a bunch of different things. And so I just want to give that to you guys as just a way to support you guys more with this. Use them as you need. And yeah, I think they'll help a lot. You guys are freaking amazing. Atena, you have an amazing community of
Yeah,
people. You really do.
Ebrahim, I think we're all super, super grateful. And as you just saw, we have a special guest in the room. Atena quickly joined us here as well. Guys, let me know in the chat what you thought about Ebrahim. And I don't know if we still have time for Q&A, but we're quickly going to hand it over to Atena, because we all know how busy she is, and she's on the other side of the world again. And Ebrahim, already, thank you so much. Only I can say I feel amazing, like a new version of me. Atena?
Hi everyone. Hello
Hey.
from Florida. Literally a very bad storm. I don't know if you can see it in the background. It's lightning, a storm. So not really a tropical island weather that you would expect it. So thank you so much, Ebrahim. I really, really appreciate it. Did everyone get value? Just put in a chat from 1 to 10. How much value did you get out of today? 1, I didn't get any value at all. 10, it was amazing. Well done. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10,000. 12, Jonathan 10, Dan 10. Fantastic. And guys, just make sure you follow Ebrahim in Instagram as well. Like he gives a lot of value in his social media. I'll just pop the link to his Instagram. Make sure you follow him. Tag him. If you haven't took a picture yet or anything, just make sure you take a picture, tag him. And your time really valuable, Ebrahim. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm going to tell something, because I couldn't sleep last night. And the funny thing is that, I always say jet lag is a choice, because we are in the control of our mind. And every time because I travel all the time, like I come to US, and now I'm in a EST time zone, which is like 10 hours difference with Sydney. And I never get jet lag, because I always inject myself that jet lag is a choice, jet lag is a choice. And last night I literally couldn't sleep until 6 a.m. And I kind of part of me wanted to say, no, jet lag is a choice. It's not real. But started realizing that it's happening. So I messaged Ebrahim and he sent me an audio and a couple of tips that he told me to do. So the funny thing, Ebrahim, I did that and I started falling asleep, but my unconscious mind woke me up because of being too busy thinking about, oh, I didn't send this to Tatiana. I just forgot to do, you know what I mean? Because I had to catch up. Sydney was 10 hours away. That's when I started the work. And then I had to catch up with all of the things that I have to do for the team. So my unconscious mind started waking me up and putting me in a situation or state that I couldn't go back to that deep sleep. So I kind of like what you did helped me to get to that stage, but then my unconscious mind started, put me out of that state again. I was so frustrated with myself, and I didn't message you because I didn't want to disappoint you, but that was absolutely fantastic. So one thing, Ebrahim, I have a question from you is, so with this exercise, that was really good. Like I hope that everyone feel like they have a new identity now, right? This is the real you now. Everything that you had in the past, the limited belief, I can never be successful. I never can make me money. I never can have this. Like you put it behind. But what I found with the entrepreneurs, Ebrahim, is that wear off after a while. They find a new identity and it start wearing off, and they're gonna be back to who they were after a couple of days, some of them a couple of weeks. And we're gonna look at like some of like a Tony Robbins, for example, right? I know a lot of people around me that attend the Tony Robbins events, which a lot of them transform, but then majority actually back to who they were because it start wearing off. So what is your tip about how can we keep that state like continuously?
100%. Well, look, here's the thing. With this, you can actually change, like the change is done. So when you change, you've changed. Your identity changes. Now, if you go back into old habits and patterns, then yes, you can reprogram yourself back into the old version of yourself, right? So the only thing you need to do is just stay consistent with it. That's all it is. So what I'd highly recommend you do is just take, and this is all I do, this is what my clients do, 10 minutes a day to get again so familiar with this version of yourself until it happens. And then you just rinse and repeat that process. That's all it is. So if you've been at the same kind of level in your life, in your business for a period of time, all you need to do is just recreate that identity. That's exactly what we did today. You have had a shift today. To keep it now consistent, just re-go back through this process. So my team will get a really high quality audio for you guys to listen to for this. We'll also give you some other ones. Just drop me a message. We'll just send them to you for free. Those things will all massively, massively help for you to just stay consistent and just keep going at it and just keep expanding your vision more and more and more and more. That's the key, right? People always like there's this like false belief that you can just kind of stay consistent isn't true. You're either going forwards or backwards. So by staying focused on the growth, by staying consistent with this, again, with just 10 minutes a day, that is how you continue, not just keeping it. It's not about keeping it, it's about continuously growing. And that's how, and it's, this is what you've done, right? To be able to grow at the pace you've done and keep doing it, you have to just keep going background, keep reinventing yourself to sustain that growth. That is it. That is it. It's as simple as that.
Consistent, persistent action. But the problem that I found, Ebrahim, is discipline. Like, for example, anyone that want to do something, they know they have to do it every day, whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to be successful in business, whether you want to practice on your mind. But the problem with majority of people is discipline. They do it for a couple of days, then they don't do it, even though it's so simple. Even though it's like a 5 minutes a day, they just don't do it because the discipline is something missing in majority of the people. So how can you help them to actually build that discipline? Because discipline is something that changes the entire game. Because when you have discipline, you can achieve any dream or goal to come true. So how can you help with a couple of tips here, magic tips? I know it's a very difficult questions, right? You're going to say, Atena, like magically, how can we give the discipline to someone? But do you have any tip that going to help these entrepreneurs to build that discipline, that discipline is going to make them to do these mind exercises every day, and then from there to build up the business?
I have a different take with discipline. I don't even consider myself a disciplined person at all. And if you look to me, you might say I'm disciplined, but I actually don't feel like I am. The reason why I don't feel like I am is because everything I do is just what I actually love to do. And because I do this all the time, it doesn't actually feel like work. So the key with this is to get to the point where you actually just love doing this. I do this because I love doing it. It's like, put it like this, right? Who's remembers the first time going to do a workout or going to the gym? It was hard, right? It was difficult. But then suddenly you've been doing it for a period of time. Now you can't not do it. Now you just love to do it. So I know my internet's going a bit unstable. Can you guys still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Still okay? Yeah, cool. So what all you need to do is focus on the changes that you're actually making with this. So immediately, like the first exercise we did before this, notice how you guys immediately felt different within 2 minutes of doing it, right? It's like in business, what's one of the things you're taught to do when you have a new client? Get them a quick win. Why is that? It's so you get addicted to that change and that momentum. Well, this is exactly the same thing in your own life. We work the same way. So all you need to do is focus on the changes that are happening, and then you don't need discipline. It's something that you want to do. The people I work with, they don't struggle with that because you see the change so quickly. You just want to keep doing it because it works. It's as simple as that. That's the beautiful thing with this. It doesn't take a long time. It doesn't take, honestly, it doesn't take a lot of effort. What do? You just relax for 10 minutes. It's pretty nice, really. You just get to chill for 10 minutes, but then you actually are reprogramming your mind in that process. So, look, if you can't find 10 minutes, then you got some other problems to deal with because this is one of the most important things that you can be doing seriously. Like this is really there's really nothing as powerful as this when it comes to getting your mind in the right space. Okay. So I would just say it's not even that you have to do it, it's something that you get to do. It's a freaking amazing thing that feels good. It's fun. You immediately change your life. You'll want to do it. I really don't think you guys will struggle. With the other tapes that I'll send you, there's a lot of variety there as well. So when you're doing them, treat it like fun. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. See the differences. Notice the changes in yourself, right? Because those changes you make in yourself directly correlate to the changes that you get in your business and all the things that you want. So hopefully that helps. Jonathan, did you want to shoot a question?
You're muted, Jonathan. Here you go.
Yes, now. We don't hear you,
Yeah.
I still can't hear.
Jonathan. There's something
You
about
still
the
can't hear.
audio. Although you're unmuted.
Now?
Yes,
There we
we
go.
can hear you now.
Yes.
Okay, super. Thank you so much. Ebrahim, just really thanking you for just how much that was I felt in me was happening with what seemed to be a very simple exercise. So fantastic. One thing that I noticed though is that the identity shift seemed to be a new version of me that had let go of things that have held me back. So that seemed to be the identity transition. What about a new me to aim for, or a new identity that's positive rather than an identity that is absent of the negative? Do you believe in defining a positive identity, like, for example, your mission or your why, having a purpose beyond yourself that's pulling you towards your destiny? Or do you subscribe to the idea that you should leave that undefined and just continue through an agile process of just becoming less of the negative?
That's a really good question. So the easiest place to start is by removing the things that are stopping you. The way to think about it is if you have a rubber band, if you pull that rubber band back further and further and further, all you need to do is let that thing go, it will fly forward. That's what just happened to you. If you now feel cool, that stuff's not holding you back anymore, which is the whole purpose of it. Focus on forward, man. Now, when you do that, it will be infinitely more effective. The problem what a lot of people do is they just focus on where they want to go and the positive, but there's all this stuff weighing them back. Once you let go of that stuff and leave it in the past, now when you do this, it will be so much more effective. There's a bunch of different things you can do. There's obviously the tapes I'm going to send you, but even just simple things like a really simple exercise. This is what I would used to do. Okay, I'll tell you an actual one I used to do. I would get a striped screenshot and I would make it on Canva and it would say like 100K last month. This is when I wanted to hit like 100K per month, right? And I would just have that and I would look at it I would play some music and I would just meditate on it until I was literally so emotional about it, I'd start crying. I just felt so emotional and connected to it. And I would do that again and again and again and again. And guess what? It happened because all I did was I just trained my focus on that. So whatever the vision is for you, that's all you have to do. So for you, and whatever creates the most emotion for you, maybe it's for providing for a family, maybe it's impact to people, maybe it's whatever the thing that could be for you. Focus on that, and the key again is just to feel the emotion. As soon as you feel the emotion, you've made a change. It really is as simple as that. What a lot of people get stuck on is just get in their head. The key is just feeling it to some degree, because emotion, just remember this, emotion is what drives action. When we were talking a lot about sales earlier, well, sales 101, we make decisions based on what and justify it with what later.
Yeah, I can so relate with that. The power of the belief and feel it. That's super important. I see that sometimes I do coaching and I ask the member, what is your goal? And oh, my goal is to make 100,000 a month by the end of this year. And I say how confident you are in that goal, and say, oh, I think I might be able to do it. It's very, very obvious that they don't have certainty. So they don't believe in it. And that's a problem. It's like you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire, but you don't believe in it. You don't think you could do it. So that's a problem. Until you start believing in it 100%, that I ask you that question, anyone asks you the question, say, what are the chances of you becoming a millionaire by the end of this year? You're going to say 100%. 100%. I have no doubt. You believe it from your whole body, that's make a difference, because then you're going to find a way. So like if you look at all of the successful people that made $1 million companies, $1 billion companies in months or years, if you look at that, there's a common pattern between all of them. It's a belief, right? A belief that there's a treasure out there, and the belief that you will find it, and the belief that it's worth it. Because this journey gets really difficult, and then you just need to believe that it's worth it. I know how many times like I get this question asked from myself, does it really worth it? And I say, heck yes, it's worth it. Because if you don't believe it's worth it, you're going to give up. You're going to give up on your dreams because you're going to say it's not going to be worth it. So it's a 3 belief, that's the shift. Believe there is a treasure out there. Whatever that the treasure is for you, whatever definition of the treasure is your goal. Believe there's a treasure out there. Believe that you can find it. You will find it 100%, and believe it's worth it. With the whole body, no doubt, absolute certainty. And I can promise you guys, everyone in this room, you're going to achieve your goals and dreams, no matter how unreasonable or big they are. So that's exactly what the Ebrahim was just talking about, the belief and emotions. So much can relate with that, Ebrahim. And we had a discussion as well, right? When we met about all of that. I do recall that discussion.
You know, I asked everybody here at the beginning of the call, if they had your level of confidence and belief, how much easier and more successful do they think they'd be? How much easier do they think would get towards their goals? Everyone said yes, right? So I think we all inherently know this, and there's this belief that like, okay, like she must be different, or there must be something different. She's not. No one is. We all start from the same place. We all have access to the same things, the same mind. Yeah, sure, there's different life circumstances, but at the end of the day, it is a decision. To feel confident, to have self-belief is a choice. Just like it's a choice for me to pick up this glass right now, I don't think about it. Nothing's stopping me. I just pick up the glass, right? It's a decision. It's exactly the same when it comes to your self-belief. And so what I want you to do as an action step, okay, just to prove this to yourself, how tangible this is, I want you to, when I send you these hypnosis tracks, okay, and I want the reason I'm going to tell you to do this one, because it's going to be tangible. I want you to do the one that's on sales, okay? Before your next sales call for your business, listen to that. It's like 8 minutes. When you get on that sales call, I want you to show up as the most confident version of yourself, which you will after you listen to that. I don't even care what the outcome is. Just notice how different you show up and how different that prospect sees you. The reason I want you to do that is because it's so tangible that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And that will give you the belief. When Atena asked about discipline and stuff like that, you won't need discipline because you'll see the change immediately. I've done this with people who have made millions of dollars after doing this one time. Okay. So I want you to all go and do that as one action step, because it's not only going to make you more money, it's going to actually show you the change tangibly in your day to day. And I want you to do that for your next call. Okay. And then, yeah, if you guys want to feedback after, I'd love to hear how it goes for you. But that's the best thing I can say to wrap up. So you see it, create undeniable proof for yourself. Because once you do this and then you see the proof straight away, you can't stop. You become unstoppable. It's actually harder to stop because you're already going. There's momentum. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. People better get out of the way because you're going to keep going.
Yeah, and I know the feeling, right? And you get obsessed with something so badly that there's no other thing
Yeah.
that you enjoy. Just all you enjoy is success and progressing and become part of your life and identity. So true. So I will hold everyone accountable, Ebrahim, after today, and I'll do the check-in on people and I'll keep you updated. Thank you so much for your time again. I really appreciate it. I know that you're very busy. And guys, know that some of these guest speakers that bring, including Ebrahim, they charge thousands of dollars for like half an hour coaching. And this is you guys are getting all of this value in this community. So make sure that you follow Ebrahim, you send him a message, tag him on Instagram. That's the minimum thing that we could do to him for his time, to appreciate his time and all the value that he's given to the community. Thank you so much again, Ebrahim. I'll pop the link to Ebrahim's Instagram there too.
I was about to do that actually. And I think what we also really appreciate, Ebrahim, again, is like that you did the session with us. We could feel it. I think we all start to feel the identity shift, and that you even agreed on like sharing more of your resources. We really look forward to that. That's super, super kind of you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, guys. Seriously, I give that because I can see you guys all played full out. You guys were open. You guys put the work in. So I give it straight back to you. You guys are an epic community. It's been a real pleasure. Seriously, guys. It's been real fun. I'm excited to see your guys' growth from this.
No problems. Maybe we can bring you on the in-person mastermind. We were literally just
Let's do
planning
it.
the next in-person mastermind. Guys, what do you think of Bali, by the way? We were just talking about Bali for the
Yes.
mastermind. Everyone happy with Bali? Yeah, maybe we could bring Ebrahim there so he could just hypnotize people for 2 days.
Write Bali in the chat if you agree that we should do a Bali event in person, and also bring Ebrahim here. There.
Here we go, Bali. We gotta get 20 Bali message in there. Yeah, we already started.
I actually used to live. I used to live in Bali, by the way. I used to live there for 2 years. So
I need to get some tips from you because I was looking for like a beachfront mansions, like 20 bedrooms, so we could get everyone to sleep there too. We hang out a couple of days together. I might just pick up on your brain and experience on that.
yeah,
but it's gonna be.
I can give you some good ones.
It's going to be the second week after December. We already started planning for it. We even just going to plan to see if we can fly the Thai Lopez to come over and a couple of really big speakers to fly over in that few days to hang out with us. It's going to be amazing. So anyway, started getting excited about that. Thanks again, Ebrahim, for your time. And we definitely bring you back into the community. And I really appreciate your time.
Actually, I want to take a quick picture, guys. Put on the camera, put on the biggest smile before you go to bed or fall asleep, right? Like Benoit. Like, although it's like, what, 2, 3 o'clock at night now, he's still awake, has the biggest smile on, right? Jessica, Ryan, the new you versions, put on your cameras. Okay, are you guys ready? Put on the biggest smile. 3, 2, 1, smile. Amazing.
Thank you so much, Johnny, for hosting this amazing event. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. Take care. Ebrahim, have an amazing night. Atena, safe travel. See you guys soon.
Before we leave, we have the monthly metaverse coming this Sunday or Saturday. This Sunday, yes. So it's a metaverse happening. We're having it once a month. I can see a couple of new members in the group. So we got a metaverse. So we actually rented a space in the metaverse for AIpreneurs. And it's going to be networking, the theme. So could check the calendar, it's all in the calendar. Ebrahim, you're more than welcome to attend. It's quite fun. We have an AIpreneurs metaverse happening every month and we all get together, have some fun. Here we go.
Yep.
Yeah,
sorry, this is China time.
I'll see you guys.
No problems. Thank you, guys. Cheers.